Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, the president leaves us no choice but to act. Pelosi announces impeachment case against Trump will go forward. The House is pressing Ford to draft articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump. Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced today. Our democracy is what is at stake, Pelosi said somberly. The president leaves us no choice but to act. Pelosi delivered the historic announcement in solemn tones, drawing on the Constitution and the Founding Fathers as Democrats push toward a vote possibly before Christmas. After the core of the impeachment probe is a July call with the president of Ukraine, in which Trump pressed the leader to investigate Democrats and political rival Joe Biden as the White House was withholding military aid to the country bordering an aggressive Russia. Pelosi emphasized the Russia angle at the news conference later, saying that it's Russia and President Vladimir Putin who benefited most from Trump's actions toward Ukraine. Asked as she was leaving if she hates Trump, Pelosi stiffened, returned to the podium, and responded sharply that the president's views and politics are for the voters at the elections to judge. But this is about the Constitution. She said, as a Catholic, she does not hate the president, but rather is praying for him daily. Eager to fight, Trump quickly tweeted back that he didn't believe her. At the White House, Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham tweeted that Pelosi and the Democrats should be ashamed. Then she too looked past the likely impeachment in the Democratic majority House to trial in the Republican-controlled Senate. The GOP leader of the House, Kevin McCarthy, said Pelosi is more concerned about tearing the president down than building the country up. Drafting articles of impeachment is a milestone moment. Only the fourth time in U.S. history Congress has tried to remove a president, and it intensifies the deeply partisan undertaking that the consuming Washington and dividing the nation. And if you want to read more of this article, we will share the link with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. Crews work to remove snow after major storm. Landscapers say they've been working long hours for clients. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
My Mike, we're here at a local business in Manchester where, as you can see, a crew has been working really hard to push back these snow piles that have spilled into the parking lot, which crowds the space and can make it actually unsafe for pedestrians. This is just one of the jobs for Roy Bell, who has been working around the clock since the storm started. He says in most cases he relocates the snow into a safe location on the property, but sometimes it is removed entirely. He helps take care of roughly 100 properties, and all of them needed help this week.
They want it done before the last person, so therefore, you have to try to see what you can get done. I mean, we have 5 loaders that are going nonstop, for days after the storm. Since Sunday at 3 p.m., where a lot of our guys are about 65 hours right now, 70 hours. So it's been a tough one.
Yeah, Bell tells us he got through with some naps and a lot of coffee, and he hopes to wrap up by the end of the day today. We're live in Manchester this noon. Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Police, Bill Weld campaign office, other businesses burglarized in Manchester. Items taken from Weld office, officials say. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Presidential candidate Bill Weld's campaign office is one of several burglarized in Manchester overnight. Police say someone broke into Weld's office on Lowell Street and took a few items, but then forced their way into snapshot photography and took thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. A third business office was also broken into, but police say nothing there was taken. Back in October, the campaign office for Elizabeth Warren was part of a series of break-ins on Chestnut Street.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Rye police say they issued 310 summons to drivers with snow on car roofs. Jessica law requires drivers to clear snow, ice off cars before hitting the road. Take a look at the photo right here. Look at this vehicle. Look at the mound of snow on that roof. That is not okay. Rye police said Wednesday evening they issued a 310 summons to a driver who was traveling with snow on the car's roof. Officer Mark Webster stopped this vehicle today with a glancer on top of his car, police wrote in a Facebook post. Police said that after removing the snow, the driver was cited for negligent driving under Jessica's law, which has been in effect since 2002. Drivers who violate the law face fines of $250 to $500 for the first offense and $500 to $1,000 for multiple offenses. Jessica law was passed after Jessica Smith was killed when ice from a tractor-trailer hit a box truck that ended up hitting her car. And here is another look at that vehicle with the snow on top. That is not okay, everyone. Remember, clean your car off and do not leave snow on top of your roof or any ice on top of your roof, or you will be getting a summons and will need to pay a fine. Missing Pembroke man found inside SUV in Merrimack River. Update. Trey Rouse, 24, had been missing since November 15th. Police in Pembroke tracked him to Hooksett and asked for privacy for the family. Take a look at this photo here. A state dive team located an SUV and a man missing since last month in the Merrimack River in Hooksett. Chief of the Hooksett Police Department announced the discovery Thursday after a more than 24-hour search of the river for Trey Rouse, 24, of Pembroke, a man with autism who has been missing since November 15th. Pembroke police, she said, had received information that Rouse might be in the river. Pembroke police confirmed on the department's Facebook site that investigators used GPS via cell phone apps to find Rouse, and it led them to the boat launch at the park. And here is some more photos from that scene. Take a look. An autopsy will be performed Friday. Both departments thanked the members of New Hampshire Fish and Game Department for their assistance with the case. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Thursday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Thursday evening. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the red and went down. U.S. 10-year closed in the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VAX closed in the red and went down. Stocks closed little changed and choppy trading. Stocks ended Thursday's session little changed as investors designated strong employment data while they monitored the latest news from U.S.-China trade negotiations. Workers strike in Paris over changes to France's retirement plan. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Now to France, where massive strikes across the country are underway this morning. Train lines and schools are shut down, flights canceled, as protesters take to the streets angry over planned changes to France's retirement plan. Maggie Rulli is there in Paris with more on this. Good morning, Maggie.
Robin, good morning. This is where that latest wave of protests are kicking off. Strikes shutting down the trains here overnight. Now they're threatening to paralyze the entire country because, like you just said, Robin, it's more than just a transit strike. The unions are out in full force, and nearly every single union, from transit workers and rail workers to opera singers, are out here protesting. And at the heart of their fight, it is all about pension reform. France has one of the most generous retirement plans in the entire world, with some union are able to retire as young as age 52. But the government here is facing a growing debt, and they say they want to overhaul the pension plan. But for the protesters here, they say what they hear is that they have to work more to get paid less, and that millions could lose their benefits. They say they are going to fiercely fight for what they see are their rights, which has left police worried today. There's thousands out here on the streets. They're worried some of these protests could turn violent. They're urging tourists to stay away from attractions like the Eiffel Tower. We know hotels are having cancellations as well. Guys, the protesters say they will protest indefinitely, so who knows what this could mean for the global economy. Michael?
Who knows? Such unrest there.
Oh,
Thanks to Maggie.
Yes, thank you.
Hi.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and have a wonderful Thursday evening, everyone. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.